Matthew here from MiniWarGaming.com. Today is Monday, December 5th. 1 month ago today, I made a challenge for myself, and that was to paint up 2,000 points of Necrons within 30 days. Actually, assemble and paint a 2,000 point Necron army in 30 days. If you've been following my progress, then you know that in 2 weeks after that challenge, I already have 2,000 points done. So I decided to up my challenge to 3,000 points. If you continue to follow, you realize that I upped my challenge to 4,000 points. Well, on Saturday, which was December 3rd, which was day 29, I painted the last 2 miniatures of that 4,000 points. And I'd like you to show you this army right now. Now remember, this is all tabletop quality painting, maybe a little better in some cases, maybe a little worse in some cases. But I want to show you the army. I've taken a bunch of pictures I'm going to show you as well in this video, and I want to talk about it for a few minutes. So let's take a look at the army. Right here is my 4,000 point army. Let's quickly go through what's in it. And the front line is all the HQ choices. What we have is Trazine the Infinite. I painted him up on Saturday. And we have 2 overlords, one that came with the command barge and the Finecast variant. And then we have 4 Necron lords and 2 cryptex. Now the lords are missing their rods because we ran out of the custom blue rods and they're on back order because we sold so many of them. So unfortunately those aren't done, but I'm just counting them as done just because there's no way for me to get more rods in before the deadline. So that is the HQ. Troop-wise, we have 36 Necron warriors, so 3 boxes, and 2 groups of 10 immortals. For dedicated transports for the warriors, we have 4 Ghost Arks, which I'm pretty excited about. I really like the Ghost Ark models, both how they look and how they play in game. And then we have the Annihilation Barge / Command Barge, so that's a dedicated transport for the HQ. In the Elite section, we've got 10 Lich Guard with War Scythes. I know people think that the Shield is better than the War Scythe, and that's why I've ordered 10 more, and I'm going to put them together for that as well. I just like the War Scythe, the Strength 7, Armor Penetrating 2d6. We've got 10 Death Marks, and I've played these in a few games, and they work quite well. We've got a Catan, or Satan, depending on how you pronounce it. This one is a Shard of the Deceiver. He's on a custom base from Eternal Legion. That's eternal-legion.blogspot.com. 10 of the Immortals are on custom bases too. They're mixed in here. So they're quite nice. And that is all the elites. The fast attack, we've got 6 destroyers. All right there. No heavy destroyers yet because there is no model for them out yet. At least no redo of the model. We've got 13 Scarab Swarms. A bunch of these came from the Warriors, and then I got a few extras from Mike. And then heavy support, we've got a Doomsday Arc, and of course a Monolith, which is missing a few of the rods as well because, like I said, I ran out. Because everybody bought them up. There's still red and, or there's still yellow ones available, or red ones, I can't remember. But I think blue and red are all sold out. So there is 4,000 points right there. It's actually a bit more than 4,000 points if you bring this as an Annihilation Barge instead of a Command Barge. And depending on how you upgrade your Overlords, because Overlords could easily be over 200 points each, but I'm not counting them as that. It depends how you upgrade the Catan as well. He could be as high as 280 or 290 points, I believe. So we're roughly 4,000 points here. So an Apocalypse-sized army, which is why I have 3 HQs, 2 Overlords and Trazine. So that is 4,000 points here. I'm going to show you some pictures as well, so you can kind of get a clear view of what this armory looks like. So I'll show you some pictures right now. And these are just other different ones. Now, I painted these up quickly. I tried to go for a tabletop standard. I think they turned out quite well when they're on the table. When you start to look at them closer, you do see mistakes and everything that I made. But I'm quite happy with how they turned out, as you can see here. I believe that it's worked out to be a good-looking army on the table. I think it'll look great in battle reports. And I've already played a few games with them, and I'm liking how they're playing. They're definitely more difficult to play than your standard Space Marine army or even Tyranids. But I think they are going to be quite competitive once I figure them out. I want to talk for a minute or two about a few things that came up while I was making videos for these and while I've been painting them. One thing, I expected at the beginning that this would be a kind of a very hard task, and that by the end of the 30 days, I would want a breather from it, that I was going to be tired of painting. The opposite has actually happened. I've been accelerating in my desire to paint more, and that there's this momentum that is built up that I'm really enjoying painting. And I think that's for a couple reasons. One is because I've accepted my painting skills as where they are. Whereas before, I would always be looking at the models on the boxes or in the White Dwarf, and I'd be looking at these heavy metal painters who are far better painters than I am, and I would try to match that, and I would get frustrated that I was not matching what they were looking like. And of course I can't match it because they've got years of experience and they're probably more naturally talented than I ever will be. So maybe with time I can get something that looks really good, but maybe never like the heavy metal painters. An interesting article was written in the last White Dwarf where one of the painters, or the head painter or head artist, I can't remember exactly who it was, but he talked about this. He talked about exactly the same thing. He said that he was always getting frustrated when painting because he was trying to do what he saw in the heavy metal painting, and he just couldn't do that. And then one day it dawned on him that he didn't have to paint like them. He had his own style. Maybe it wasn't Golden Demon winning, but it was his own style that he enjoyed painting. And then he shared two very different styles of two different painters. One painter who actually uses washes a lot and paints most of his really good models under an hour, which I think is quite fast when you're looking at main heroes or HQ choices. He's not talking about individual troops, he's talking more about the higher detail models. And he does that by just base coating them in different colors, maybe adding a bit of highlighting, and then using washes 2 or 3 times in different areas and over the entire model in different mixtures to achieve the effects that he has. I suggest you actually get this White Dwarf because that article is quite good. And then the second painter he goes to does a very interesting style where it's mostly black, white, and brown. So it's not your typical bright style of 40K in fantasy, and the models look fantastic. But it's his own style. It's not something that you would ever see heavy metal painters do because it's not the style of the Warhammer universe, but it looks really good. I've kind of come to realize that for my own painting, I have to accept the fact that I'm not ever going to be this Golden Demon winner, but I have my own way of painting. And I'll probably share that in another video. Not that it's something that everybody should learn, because it's my own style. And the style involves getting things done faster, but still having them look good on the table. So it's not just a tabletop style, it's a specific tabletop style that I enjoy. And it's not that there's innovative, it's not that nobody else paints like I do. It's more just I've accepted the way that I paint. And so that has completely changed how I paint. And once I sit down to paint, I get excited to paint because I know what to expect of myself and I can be happy with the results. I don't have to hold it up next to the heavy metal painters and be like, it doesn't look like that. Like when I was painting the Catan, I got very frustrated because I was trying my hardest to make it look like what was on the box. And on the box, there are some incredible blends from the heavy metal painters, and I could not do that. And that's when I kind of started to realize I can't do that, so why don't I do something that I like instead? And a lot of people have commented that they actually like my Catan model, even though I'm like, I don't really like the way it turned out because it doesn't look like on the box. And yet people really like it. And so there's always going to be that mix. Sure, none of my army will win a Golden Demon, but I like the way it looks. It looks really good on the battlefield. It looks impressive to have 4,000 points all laid out with a consistent color scheme throughout. And I'm very happy with how it turned out. Have I said that enough times? And I think there's a key there. If you have all these models that need to be painted, I hope that this can serve as an inspiration for you. That you can be inspired to finally pick them up and get them painted. And you just do it one model at a time, one group at a time, one unit at a time. And the way you can think about it is the way I thought about it, and that is once you get these painted, you think, hey, I just painted 200 points of models. Hey, I just painted another 100 points of models. And then all of a sudden I'd want to paint like the high points cost model just so I can say, hey, I got another 200 points models done. Or like a 5 Lich Guard, which are quite quick to paint, are 40 points apiece. And so it was fun to do that. And then I would kind of go back and forth between the low points warriors, which actually didn't take very long to paint at all because I didn't put all the details on them. And then the higher points cost HQs, which I put more time into. The vehicles were probably the hardest because they took the longest, and yet they're not worth as many points as how long it took me. Like it would take me, at first, 2 or 3 hours to paint up one Ghost Ark. By the end, I could do it in an hour. But at first, it took me 2 or 3 hours to do one 115-point model, whereas I could paint up 5 Lich Guard in under an hour, and that's 200 points. So you have to kind of tackle the army the way that you enjoy it. But there are too many unpainted models out there. And so I urge you to paint your models. You'll be more inspired to play with them. You'll be more inspired in the game. And hey, you might even discover, like I've just discovered this past month, that I actually do like painting. I just have to accept my level of painting. And it will improve over time, especially if I keep painting at this rate. I will improve. Will I ever get to a Golden Demon level? I'd love to, but I don't think I will, because I don't have the patience for it. I like seeing my army build too quickly. Anyways, this is turning into a long commentary. What do you think about this aspect of the hobby? There are far too many gray miniatures out there. I think we can all agree on that. But what do you think we can do about it? How do you think people can be inspired? Is this method of painting that I've done, the quick tabletop painting, a good idea for most people? Or is it really going against what the hobby normally is about, when it's about really making your miniatures look incredibly good, so that when you look at them very closely, you get very impressed? What do you think about everything that I've done in the past 30 days? I'd love to hear your comments, so leave them below. Now, because my 4,000 points is over, it does not mean I am finished. In fact, I am quite disappointed that I don't have something to paint right now. And so what I've done is I actually got another monolith. It was actually, Mike gave it to me because it was something he's had lying around that he got from somebody else. And it was all wired up with LEDs, but it's a bit of a mess. I'm just going to tear all that out. And so I'm going to spray that. That'll be another 200 points. I've ordered 10 more Lich Guard because I'm going to kind of make a Planet Strike army now with lots of elites and fast attack. And I'm going to give them the shields because I think they look really cool. I also want to get all the HQ choices that are currently available. So the only one I'm missing is Imhotep. So I'll get him next. And I'm probably going to get another Doomsday Arc. So that's another 12 or 1,300 points of guys right there. It'll probably only take me a week or two to get them together because most of them are high points cost models. I've got my troops. I've got enough troops right now. 36 warriors and what would that be? 20 immortals is enough for a core set of troops. I know you could go more because you can have up to 20 warriors in each group. So you could theoretically have 80 warriors and 20 immortals in an army. But I think I'm okay with the level I'm at right now. Maybe I'll throw in another box once new models come out because I want more fast attack scarabs. And the destroyers I'm not going to expand on until the heavy destroyer kit comes out. And when the new stuff comes out, I will, of course, collect probably another 1,000 points of them as well, because I got to get this army up. I can't stop now that I'm at 4,000 points. So leave your comments below what you think about all this. Also tell me what army you think I should do next, because I'd actually like to collect another army. If it's 40k, fantasy, war machine, or hordes, that's fine. Right now I have Tyranids, I have a regular Space Marines, I have Necrons, and let's see, I have, of course, my Tomb Kings, and I have my Khador army in War Machine. What do you think I should collect next? And don't say Tau, because I'm going to wait for them to be released, which the rumors are they're going to be released next year. I don't want an old army. I want something that can, has half-decent rules. So Tau will come when they come out, I promise. Leave a comment below. If you've liked this series, go ahead and hit like on YouTube, or if you're on MiniWarGaming, click the Facebook like. That helps spread the love and get more people into the hobby. And trust me, this gets a lot of people into the hobby. I've been surprised about how many people have said that they're now collecting Necrons because of this list, or because of these videos. Also, let me know what other videos you want to do. I have an Apocalypse game. I actually have 2 Apocalypse games this month with my Necrons. At least 4,000 points, probably 5,000 points on each side. And we'll get both of those up this month. And I've got plenty of battle reports coming, so I don't need to be told to make more battle reports. What other videos would you like to see me make with these Necrons, though? Anyways, this is Matthew from MiniWarGaming. Hopefully I've served as a bit of an inspiration to somebody out there so that somebody can enjoy this hobby even more. Happy wargaming.